Welcome back to the Seven Deadly Sins anime review, episode number 12. This I'm reviewing technically this is the fourth episode of the third Wrath of Gods, but it is also the 56th episode of the anime, The Ten Commandments versus the Archangels, and the 330th chapter of the manga, Struggling. Let's start with this episode. This episode has chapters 205 to 207. And yes, they do adapt the entire chapters. They don't go like 3.5 chapters like I did the past couple episodes. Nope. This time they just went to 3 episodes. Yep. Now the whole episode is simply this. 5 of the 10 Commandments taking on 3 of the Archangels. Yeah, 3 of them. The fourth one's not here. Yeah, it's also revealed in here that the Nebra, who in here, the one with the pink hair, this is the same woman who in the previous season of the show possessed the modern day Elizabeth, possessed her uncle. Yeah, the same guy. The same woman, anyways. Yeah, it's the same character. Yeah, it's confirmed this is the same person. And she's used okay most of the time. Like, you first see her with the lead of the Archangels, Lacert, I think he pronounced the guy's name. Yeah, where he says, "Go protect the game of your life," and that's it. And of course he's there. Oh, I forgot something. Can you go for reinforcements, please? And over the gate. Yep, and then you have, oh yeah, it's revealed that it's actually Gathor, the current sin of lust. He's the one controlling her. Yeah, the only reason I know who this character is because he's in present day. I don't know. I don't remember. I guess it's been a little while since I really. I had to reread these chapters in order to basically understand, see if they make any changes. Mostly, but it's mostly the same. There's a couple visual changes they made to the episode. Otherwise, though, like they made a couple visual changes, and there's some lines added in that were not in the manga, which are very appropriate. Yeah, as about between you have Fendrel, Gothord, Maspet, and Desiree taking on 2 of them. Yeah, Desiree's taking on the Archangel with 3 heads. She beats up for quite some time. They actually add less numbers in the anime than they do in the manga. Manga is like always straight up to 54. And then you have Gothor basically just slice at the Archangel. And they actually add a line here, which is actually not in the manga. It says, "Sorry I stole your prey, Desiree." Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah, and actually Fenrir is not one of the 10 Commandments at this point. He's a subordinate of theirs who has a lot of respect for them. First to Gothor is Sir Gothord, and Maspet is, Sir Maspet, and Desiree is Lady Desiree. He has a lot of respect for these people. Yeah, as for the other 2, at one point Gothord saves, I think her name is the one who has the power of resurrection. Yeah, she gets saved by Gothord. In the episode, she asks, "Why'd you save me for?" He does not give an answer for some reason. Yes. Also, the whole episode, Elizabeth is trapped under a barrier, healing. Almost the entire episode until the last like 5 minutes. Yep. Excuse me. So you have like three of the 10 Commandments plus Fendrel taking on these 2 angels. One of whom looks like King. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is, but the guy looks almost exactly like King. Same pretty much design. Yeah. Yeah, he takes on mostly Desiree also as well, and Maspet. And then something weird happens. Like, first, Lazarus shows up, starts to fight with them. Oh yeah, and also Desiree has he also goes right to the guy's barrier and basically destroys his right eye. And then they do something kind of gross. Now, this is true to the manga. This did happen. Where they would literally put their hands inside of their chest and pull off their 6 hearts. Yes, Mortal Kombat style. Yes, yes, this did happen in the manga. And they didn't drink their own blood. That's kind of disgusting. They just offered up their hearts so they could become Endedra, the demons of destruction. As for Desiree's, mostly her nipples mostly cover, her breasts a little more exposed. One of her arms became like claws, and as for Maspre, he basically grew like 4 hands, And they take on. He's like, "What is this?" Like, this is nothing. And then then Desiree, in another form, lands one punch on him, and he's sent across 10 miles of the Fairy King forest. Like, oh my gosh. And he's like ticked off, and they fight for a good period of time. And then Melios, now this is another thing to add to the episode, that there's a minor flashback that happened from last week's episode where, yeah, of course, well, King reveals that, yeah, you remember the Demon Clan. Yet it's a slight word change. It's fine. I have no problem with it. And they actually show, like, you actually see his hands reach into the barrier and see his arms nearly, like, you have the skin like flaying off. It's like he's immune to pain. So he reaches for Elizabeth and he frees her from the barrier, basically she's fully healed. And he says she's got to do something. So she goes up, stops the fighting, and of course she challenges Desiree and Masma to a fight, which will happen next week's episode. There's also a thing with Hawk, which this is where he confirms that Nobel, who actually is the same person. This is where he confirms that. Also, their change, I had, there's a couple visual, like two visual changes. One, Benjo gets pretty much sliced hard, not sliced to pieces. Per se, he gets sliced like his shoulder, his legs. Yeah, the anime actually adds a lot of blood to this particular fight. Yeah, which is actually a change from the manga. Yes, it's a minor change. The fact you show a lot more blood here. Like, okay, so you censor stuff in the first three episodes. Apparently, you turn off the scent to show the fact that Fandor can actually bleed. Yep. And, like, in the case what happened to the two Archangels, they get pretty much, like, sliced. Yeah, there's a lot more gore in this episode than usual. And the only visual change they made is to the gate itself. They show this gate, which is the gate to heaven. Now in the manga, it's more of a opal shape, like sometimes gates might actually look like this. In the anime, it's more rectangular shape. It's a minor change and a little more show of the door, but mostly put, it's still the same story. And at least I appreciate for that. I gotta say, for this episode, is actually really good. And it sets up next week's episode nicely. Though I should point out, though, the next fight, which happens next week's episode, is the last fight for this arc. Because I looked it up. Apparently, after the next fight, there's no more major fights after this. Yeah. For like the rest of the arc. Yep. And I'm sure because of this episode, for next week's episode, they probably have it where, like, the fight between Elizabeth versus Desiree and Mospit, that'll probably take about 50% of the episode. And they're probably just going to have maybe 2 chapters because, well, they're probably going to make it, they're probably going to strut out the fight as much as they can. Now to the newest chapter, Struggling. Chapter starts off exactly where the last chapter left off, where the Demon King is being exorcised from Zedros successfully. Zedros basically just, well, thinks he's about to get, he's basically exorcised. He's like, and the Demon King, I'm not vessel you with me. And of course he's caught by Bon, of all people. Yes, Bon. Yep, he's like, and then Bon pretty much just gives him over to, like, Glinda. I thought this was so funny. He's like, you did this, Eros. This is Melis. You did this. You beat father. He's like, smirking, and he just claps his, oof. Of course I did. I think this is so funny. He basically buries himself in the woman he loves chest, which I think she actually loves that. Huh. He's like, huh, didn't have you pegged for such a tit man. No! I think that's so funny. The fact that he actually pokes fun at his brother for this. I mean, yes, both of them love their women's breasts. They love it so much. And then we cut from the comedy back to some more serious, where the Demon King is like, okay, so he can't take his two sons' bodies, so he possesses the freaking ground around them and becomes this creature. Like, oh my gosh. He takes the ground around and makes a new body for himself. Like, oh my gosh. It's this weird looking creature. And then, like, you have Hawk, like, hurry up, mama, let's get there. Like, turn back, as soon as he sees Demon King. And that's what you see for Hawk in the chapter. And then you see two of the members of who are basically druids who are sensing all this. You see everybody's reaction is hearing all this big power. You see the the big three basically protect two of them protecting the woman they love, two of them being sisters. Yeah, Gil protecting Margaret and his cousin protecting Veronica, and of course, well, the current Great Knight basically wondering like what the heck is going on, and we see the King Leonis, and then we see I think it's Elaine, and of course Deanne's adopted mother. We see Henderson. We see Dead, I think his name is. Everybody's pretty much feeling all this tremendous evil power. Yeah, and Demon King says this: trembling in the fear and resign yourselves, for the sin of fighting the Demon King is the greatest sin of all. Yeah, and they all just stand there. What's with the other two? Why are you so calm? Because, Father, you have no longer hope of winning this battle. And they have the Ten Commandments pose. King, Gothar, Deanne, Meliodas, Bond, Merlin, Escanar, who's basically burning up. And we hear their thoughts. For me, like, for me, everyone here has something to be afraid of. Sorry, but I've got engagement to keep after this. I just hate pushing parents. Yeah. Merlin says, looks like your body is pretty rough there, falling apart, huh? With the replacement vessel, you could find the spot. Escanor, my anger is maxed out, Demon King. Bond's like, alrighty, let's get to the ass kicking already. And Melios like, okay, everyone, let's do this. Victory is just within their reach. At the time of the Holy War's resolution. Next chapter. The world isn't big enough for the both of us. Yeah. Really good chapter. And from the look of it, it looks like it's set at the end of this arc, and maybe the series. But who knows? But one really good chapter, and I love everybody's reaction to feeling the Demon King's might spreading through the entire country. Yep. One thing I do hope, though, before Meliodas basically like either goes back to the demon realm with Elizabeth, I hope one thing he does do, if he does take Demon King's power, use the resurrect King Arthur, because I think even he realizes though killing him was a mistake. Yeah, I think resurrecting him would probably be a good move on his part, and probably to make a smile to Merlin's face to bring back a basically a kid who was pretty much she raised as her own son. It's basically a teacher student, also a mother son relationship, which I thought was really good. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this particular review. My next review is going to be a movie review on the final Hugh Jackman Wolverine performance. Yep, I'll talk about that in my next video. Okay, to the next video. Bye.